Hello friends, welcome to today's topic. This is the article Global Warming 5. So it has come in the Hindu newspaper dated 23/12/2024. So friends, in this live session, we are going to decode the concept in 7 day structure. After that, we will discuss about UPSC previous year questions. Right. So that is the thing. And these are the UPSC some of the main questions. Later we will discuss about MCQs. So let me start about some disclaimer. Friends, yeah, friends, in this channel, I am going to discuss editorial analysis from newspapers like the Hindu, the Telangana Today, the Financial Express, and the Pioneer. And a small intro about myself. I am G Satya, and I am author and coach. You can find some of the books written by me on Amazon. And myself, I am an ex-UPSC aspirant. And small request from my side. If you find value from this channel, you can consider following. Right, this is the thing. Right, friends. So friends, this is the actual article. So let me give some of the glimpse what the article is saying. So in the introduction, they have mentioned about COP29 outcome and where it took place. This is Azerbaijan, right? So then they have mentioned about the targets for the developed countries as well as China and India to transition to net zero emissions. That is one thing. And developments like EU developments, especially they are going to start from the 2026, that is carbon border adjustment mechanism. Then especially they're talking about the Trump presidency, how Donald Trump will take with regard to climate agreements. So that is the term. And when it comes to some of the important points like net zero emissions, and these statistics are not relevant, even though they are relevant, but this is difficult to remember. So just skip this one, and especially make a point on cost and land. Whenever we are transitioning to energy, we need to take care about cost and land acquisition like thing. That are the important 2 points we should consider. We can talk about as challenges. Then they are discussing about mainly, right. So nuclear power. Here, if you observe, US, France, and Japan, they are going to triple nuclear power by 2050. Right, and even Japan joining this group despite like Hiroshima, Nagasaki, and Fukushima incident. Right. So Fukushima is the nuclear power plant accident, friends, and Hiroshima, Nagasaki, we all know. So Nuclear Power Corporation of India Limited, how it is going to generate and nuclear energy, all the things. So here in the article they are mentioning slightly. They don't have we don't have any in detail things, but we need to go back to connect our textbooks or materials whatever we have read. And issue like in COP29 they are discussing about the climate financing. So that is the one of the issue. So overall it is okay thing, but we will decode the concepts. Let me share my screen. Yes, friends, this is the screen, right? So yeah, yes, this is the screen. So friends, we will discuss as usual in our pattern. Let me take this one. So after reading such type of articles, how we should connect in a structured format for remembering the things for long term as well as recollecting the things easily, that are very very important. So how we will connect? So you should connect this into 7 tier structure. So first is the introduction. Why in news? So friends, in the article they have mentioned COP29 outcome. So COP29 outcome. So what is the outcome they are mentioning? That we should do. That we should talk about this. So COP29 they are mentioning about especially climate finance. Right. So and energy transition goals for the developed countries as well as the developing countries. So developed countries, all developed countries should transition to renewables by 2050. If it is a China, 2060. So India, the target is 2070 because it is developing country. So by this years, India is going to become net zero emissions. All these countries. If it is China, it is 2060 net zero emissions. This is the intro part, right? So, right. Then we will move to our second part, that is background. In the background, friends, we should talk about what is global warming. We need to define the concepts or fundamentals or any historical things. So, friends, global warming is the eighth. So, it is the long term. So, long term rise in the eighth average temperature. Eighth average temperature. This is the definition of global warming. So, how the eighth average temperature rises in a over period of a time? It should be keyword like long term and average temperature. These both things are very, very important. Here, the question is, what are the reasons? So, friends, the global warming is caused by the greenhouse gases. So, in my earlier video, so the articles are coming, keep coming regularly. So in earlier video, I have in detail discussed about greenhouse gases. There are 9 greenhouse gases and their causes and their impacts also I have clearly discussed. So go through that video, right? So in that video, I have mentioned carbon dioxide, methane, right, and water vapor, SF6, chlorofluorocarbon, everything I have discussed. So friends, watch that video for more details. So we have defined the global warming and what are the causes for global warming. Everything we have discussed, right? So now we will see some of the action points like India commitments. So Indian commitments with respect to this global warming. The very first commitment is by 2070. Are you following, friends? By 2070, net zero emissions. This is the first and foremost commitment by Indian government, and we should ramp up. We should ramp up our renewable energy to 5,000 gigawatts by 2030, friends. And at the same time, our commitments is, so as per article, EU is going to start, right? EU is going to start or effectively implementing some of the carbon border adjustment mechanism that we should address. So carbon border adjustment mechanism that we should address, friends. So, addressing of UU. So these are the Indian government commitments with respect to global warming. So in our structure, we have advantages in the step 3. But here we don't have any advantages. It's a global warming is a it is a issue for the Indian government. But we will talk about by converting slightly about thing, that is India's climate action. Advantages of India's climate action. So friends, if we have renewable energy, right, in India we are using renewable energy, then definitely economic growth, is it possible or not? Is our GDP grows or not? Because we are reducing spending on fossil fuels. Yeah. So if you take fossil fuels, generally oil, natural gas, right, we are importing these things. So we are making dollar conservation. So exporting the we are importing, and that bill we are going to save. So it will help us to improve our economy and job growth. If we are following renewable energies, so mainly we are targeting solar. Solar is our prime priority, then wind, and as practical nuclear energy. So can't we generate, right? Can't we generate jobs in these fields, right? And next important point is, if we are following climate action, we can take up the global leadership. Especially India International Solar Alliance. Many countries are part in this International Solar Alliance, right? So we are the proactive. India is the proactive, because India is given pitch for this alliance. India is proactive and taking the global leadership. If we talk about next another advantage, that is SDGs with respect to climate action. We have SDG 13, which talks about climate action. India is If India is taking proactive actions with respect to achieving climate action, then we are achieving one of the SDG goals which we are going to achieve by 2030. Friends, here my question is, how many SDGs are there? Please comment below the video. How many SDGs are there? Right. So friends, if we want to achieve such type of climate action, or if we want to change into renewable energy and to overcome global warming, right? So there are some challenges to overcome this global warming. So whenever we are changing into renewable energy, there will be some of the transition, right? Transition cost will be there, because if we talk about nuclear energy, nuclear energy installation very high, installation cost is very high, and protests from the people, right? At the same times, disposal of this nuclear material is very important. If a small thing that can make to disaster. This is safety. So this is the transition cost, it will be very high whenever we are moving to from fossil fuels to clear renewable energy. So as per our estimation, if we want to move to 100% renewable energy by 2070, the estimation is so friends, how much is the estimation? 15.15 trillion dollars. So friends, now how to remember this type of things? So let us come to the some of the examples beyond this topic. Right now, India is the fifth largest economy. Everybody accept. What is the GDP in trillions? GDP is 3.89 dollar trillions. It is in the fifth position. Right. So what is the first position country? That is USA. So USA GDP is around 29 dollar trillion. So friends, this is the you can compare our Indian economy. How many times is there? Almost 4x. It means 4 years. If we spend total 4 years GDP, then we can easily transfer to renewable energy. It is the one of the challenge whenever we are fighting with the global warming, or whenever we want to change to the perfect renewable or clear energy country. Second thing is the energy demands. In India, population is growing. Everybody agree. Right now, we are above 140 crore plus. And urbanization is growing. Industrial is growing. Transportation growing. Right. So for each and everything, for people, right, who want to utilize their mobile chargers and household things, they are using electricity. It is the energy. When it comes to urbanization, to maintain streets, street lights, malls, everywhere electricity is using. Industries, again we need energy. Transportation, we need energy. So energy demand is growing in India from the various sources. That is another biggest challenge, right? When it comes to this global warming or converting into renewable energy, another thing is challenge is technological constraints. So what are these technological constraints? If we take solar, so our main Indian government focusing in the solar, right? Right now, if you see, we are using different types of programs like PM Kusum. It is totally for the farmers to convert their diesel pumps to electricity and converting into grid connection. PM Kusum and PM Muft Bijli scheme. Another important thing, it is rooftop solar scheme, especially government bodies. All government bodies should use rooftop solar by December 2026. This is the target. They need to install and they need to use this rooftop solar. So when it comes to our technological constraints, right friends? So especially solar panels, whatever we are using in the solar panels, that materials and even in panels are very costly, high cost. Technology is not developed in India, right? The technology is photovoltaic cells that are not, that are very high cost. And when it comes to wind and a combination of both solar plus wind, that is hybrid, that technology is not developed, right? So these are the things technologically constraints. Got it? So another, is there any another challenges, main challenges I'm asking with respect to converting into renewable energy? Right. So friends, we will talk about some of the solutions or government schemes in our fifth top, that is government role. Whenever we are discussing this point, we need to see about our Constitution of India. Is there any article or any laws or any schemes? We should highlight these points. So here our schemes are like National Action Plan on Climate Change. This is the first and more foremost scheme with respect to renewable energy. So friends, you should talk about how the mission is focusing on which areas it is focusing. We can mention it is widely diversified thing. Like it talks about afforestation, giving importance to solar and energy efficiency. This is the beautiness of this scheme, right? And the another important thing is collaboration by the international governments. That is ISA. India is the proactive things we have already discussed. That is another major achievement or and innovation in the green hydrogen, giving importance to the electric mobility like FAME schemes, right? And giving another thing is that is storage, energy storage, that is battery system, promoting electric vehicles. So these are the some of the schemes or programs promoting by the Indian government right now. Apart from this, India is focusing on the international collaboration, right? So if you talk about France, USA, and Japan, they are trying to triple their nuclear energy, triple nuclear energy by 2050. India is doing collaborations internationally as per the COP29. So in the COP29, we have major achievement So UN approved agri carbon markets. So friends, in our channel we have agri carbon markets video. Just go through that one. So according to that, our NABARD started 5 projects, right? As listed in the VERA. VERA is a non-profit organization, like a NGO or NPO. So these are the steps taken by the Indian government to combat global warming or to convert ourselves to the renewable energies. In our next step, we have aspirant views. So friends, being an aspirant, we should have positive views as well as negative views, and finally taking the balanced conclusion. So being an optimist, you should quote, India should convert into global clean energy, right? India should, so India lead, because already leading in ISA. So India should lead global clean energy, transition. So right now Trump is against for these things, but there is an opportunity for India to take and lead and to move forward all global countries to clean energy with the help of innovation and diplomacy. That should come from the Indian side. That is the one of the beautiness. And negative are realistic views. These are realistic views. So is there here we can talk about some of the challenges, like there will be some of the technological challenges, financial challenges, infra challenges, right? We can talk about, and that should be addressed. And a sustainability advocate or social equity. This is another dimension we should talk about. So we should inclusive, like all marginal communities and, and low income countries. Whenever we are talking about global countries, low income countries, marginal communities, everything we should include, give importance to that people or that countries. Now comes the last one, that is conclusion. So friends, if we see, you can directly quote SDG 33, that is climate action. So we can talk about some of the challenges, right? Talk about challenges, and finally we should take the some of the measurements finally to achieve SDG 3. That is a very simplistic conclusion for this topic. So we will discuss some of the UPSC questions, mains questions. So friends, the rise of carbon dioxide levels in atmosphere. So they are mentioning carbon dioxide rise in atmosphere is a major cause of global warming. Exactly, friends. So in the article, we have discussed what is global warming and what are the causes. So this is the fundamentals. That's why it is very important to analyze an article in this structure. What is global warming? What are the greenhouse gases? So we all know carbon dioxide is one of the major source of greenhouse gases, right? So the rise of carbon dioxide levels in atmosphere is a major cause of global warming. Okay. Discuss the measures needed to combat climate change. So friends, you need to define the global warming as well as the climate change and try to establish the relation in between them. Then talk about the measures. Here they are mentioning some of the discuss. It means we should talk about negatives and talk about some of the positives and finally take the solution. So here straight away it is that talking about measures. So for that you should define the global warming and climate change. After that, what are the reasons for this global warming or climate change, that is greenhouse gases, in that give importance to carbon dioxide. Then go for the straight away for the measures, right? So whatever the measures we have discussed in this article, you can straight away take that measures, right? What Indian government is doing and what are the schemes and international collaborations, everything you can discuss in detail. Next question is discuss cause of global warming and explain its impact on global climate. The same question, but the concept is how global climate is impacts. Whenever you are discussing in the global things, like in the different countries and different continents, and we should talk about that as well as their country position, and especially think about some of the communities like women, marginalized communities, and old people, how this global warming is going to impact these communities as well as global countries, right? So just deep dive that concept. Another question is how do anthropogenic activities influence climate change and it suggests measures to mitigate this impact. They are talking about human activities, right? So friends, in the article we have mentioned some of the things. So in details you can talk about human things like population growing, how population is demanding energy. If the energy demands carbon dioxide things with the help of transportation, right? So burning of fossil fuels, again carbon dioxide. Everything in common day activities, how they are related to the causes for the climate change. It means global warming or greenhouse gases production. That you should know the funda. Then only you can relate this question and elaborate and finally suggest the measures. India renewable energy targets are ambitious but essential. So friends, here we should talk about renewable energy targets. So here I have mentioned 2070 targets, that is net zero emissions, right? And second I have mentioned, third I have mentioned. Third one is how to address, right? Everything you should think about it. And friends, mention the second one in the comments, friends. I am not writing here. If you have followed my article in the YouTube, so just mention in the comment box. So that are the targets and discuss the challenges achieving them. So all challenges mentioned in the article as well as some are the beyond challenges you can also mention here, right? So now we will see some of the MCQs, very interesting top questions are there. So friends, yeah, which of the following can threats to biodiversity of a geographical area? So global warming, fragmentation of habitat, invasion of alien species, and promotion of vegetation. So answer would be 1, 2, 3. With reference to India commitments to UNFCCC, consider the following statement. Government of India has announced NDCs to reduce emission intensity by of GDP by 33 to 35 from. Okay, that is correct. Government of India ratified second commitment protocol of Kyoto Protocol. Yes, friends, both are correct. So, with reference to carbon credits, consider the following statements. Carbon credits are awarded to countries or groups that have reduced greenhouse gases below their emission quota. The Kyoto Protocol allows the trading of carbon credits. European Union has its own emission trading system. Yes, friends, all are correct. So we'll move. And moreover, EU is implementing, right, 2026. So friends, broadly, these are the questions. So I hope we have covered the article in a nice way. If you have any questions or any doubts, you can mention the below the video. I will try to provide some of the solutions to your questions. So friends, thank you for watching the video. See you in the next topic.